What's up, fools? Sam here, back with another Dark Souls 3 video, and this is going to be the end of the series because we end on a nice round 25, so I have 5 final boss fights for you today. And of course, starting at number 21, we have the Demon Prince. And god damn, the Demon Prince is a phenomenal boss. Not only does it have a banging first phase with a good duo boss fight in the Demon in Pain and Demon from Below, but it has an even better second phase where it just switches to a single boss fight that has a strong enemy. It is similar to like Ornstein and Smough, and they truly just show that they like don't miss in the DLC. Yes, there's always misses, but the DLC as a whole always contains bangers that makes those misses alright because it makes you feel good. And of course, you know what else feels good is that first phase, because you got 2 demons coming after you and they're trying to, you guessed it, spit roast you. What else would it be? They're not trying to beat you. They're not trying to kill you. No, they're trying to take you one end on this side, one end on the other, and just go to fucking town on you. They got you like a fucking kebab on their demon dicks. One side you're getting the red liquid, the other side you're getting the orange liquid, and we both know what liquid I'm talking about.
You shut the fuck up! You shut the fuck up! I hope you die in a fire!
It gets even better too, because when they're finished spit roasting you and they blow their loads at the exact same time inside of you, they become one giant demon of Prince, and that's when the fun really starts going, because he's Demon of Prince. He's not the old Demon King, alright? This guy is young, kinky, and don't give 2 shits what his racist father was doing in that traditional age. And if you wonder why the old Demon King is racist, there's lore to it. Check out the old videos. But try not to get sidetracked. The Demon Prince has that young, kinky side to him that we haven't seen in any other boss. Even Sister Fried, who refused to wear shoes. He's down for just about anything. He might even get you to lick his uncleaned, grotesque brown starfish.
Black hole sun, won't you come?
And as long as you're not a goddamn fucking hater, you'll respect his wishes and do homie a solid, because after that, he will give you not God's greatest head, but he will give you the most saucy, unholy head of your life that is going to make you cream faster than I can eat a glizzy with ketchup on it. Brother's going to hit you with that triple glorp glorp slorp slorp glicky glocky double hand plus wing technique that's going to make you shoot like a Capri Sun when you squeeze the fuck out of it.
Gary, I'm about to come.
But anyway, too much detail, because like me, you're probably bricked up right now. And we got to move on to utter dog shit called the Half-Light Spear of the Church. Now, this is like one of the only travesties from this DLC. You know, even Gravetender Great Wolf and Champion was not this bad, because yeah, that's an NPC fight. But then you also have this big old wolf that's basically a Sith copycat. But it's still like, okay, this is a real fight. This one is not a real fight, because it's supposed to be, from what I've learned, a PvP fight, but I play this shit online because I honestly don't like the red marks on the ground. It kind of bothers me and makes me feel like I'm walking behind someone who's like having their period or some shit. Just weird. So I turn that shit off realistically though, because I just feel like it takes away from the setting. I like it to look clean and shit, and that shit just adds a lot. So I play offline, and so I just fought Half-Light Spear of the Church, not knowing that it was supposed to be you versus a real player. And so the fight's dog shit, easiest fucking thing ever. It takes 1 attempt. If you take more, just visit a Home Depot and get something that'll take care of your life, because you don't deserve to live it.
People ask how I'm doing. Very suicidal.
Fuck you if you wanted to hear about the worst boss in the game, because I'm not trying to fucking get pissed off and punch my monitor or my girlfriend. I could probably find a Target at the Pride Parade though. That could be fun. Enough daydreaming though. We go to number 23, Slave Knight Gale, who I guess is technically the final boss of the DLC, because I didn't realize there was an optional one, but we fight that later, so stay tuned. But Slave Knight Gale is the GOAT, the pinnacle, I think, of DS3, because of the theatrical elements, the fight itself being like perfection for me at least, and it just being rather funny that bro wasted his like entire life trying to find the Dark Soul for it literally to be the friends he made along the way. Like, bro, it was in you the entire time, retard. Honestly, if this was like a fan base on Twitter, they would probably just cry like, oh, FromSoftware couldn't think of anything good, so they ass pulled that it was in him the whole time. Like, yeah, it's kind of funny, but I think FromSoftware explained everything away with lore, so we're good. We love Gale, and I really just can't push enough just how much I like the simple fights of DS3, because you get the simple fights of the other games and they're just terrible because all boss fights were pretty simple in DS1 and DS2, but DS3 does boss fights a lot better. The movesets are a lot more varied and have a lot more different combos and shit, and Gale especially has 3 different phases. He has the first phase where it's like, oh, I sleep, you're just another idiot coming into this forgotten world that's dying. Then there's the second phase where he's like, all right, real shit. Bro sees the blood of the Dark Soul and absolutely goes ham. He stops running around like a monkey and gets on his fucking legs and fights you like a real G, and he puts some respect on your name. And then you fuck him up just a little more down to that like 1/3 health, and it is real shit. All right, he is not playing any fucking more. He comes after you with the intention not to just take your life, but to wipe you off the face of the earth. He starts doing those dash attacks, shooting all the magic everywhere. He's trying to fuck you up. It's just so well designed, especially for being the somewhat of the climax of the DLC. And the fact that it's all just 1 health bar makes it more surprising and more interesting. Something I don't really like about like second phases like Nameless King, Demon Prince, and like Abyss Watchers is that you have to take off multiple health bars, and you kind of understand sometimes when it's going to be a second phase, especially like Demon Prince. When I beat the 2 demons before, Demon in Pain and Demon from Below, I knew immediately like, oh, this is gonna be a second phase fight because these guys aren't difficult enough. I'm not struggling. And so when I beat like one of these, maybe he'll change, but no, you have to beat them both, which is, you know, a bit of a difference, but it's still rather predictable that it is gonna have a second phase. I didn't really think it'd be a single boss second phase, but you get what I mean. But with this motherfucker, I didn't really see it coming. I mean, I kind of assumed it'd be something grand, but I didn't think like, oh, I just got his health down enough, bam, second phase. Oh, I got his health down another 2/3, time to get fucked up. I mean, he goes pretty ballistic, and it's just a well-earned victory. It's not the hardest thing ever, so it doesn't get to frustrating levels, but it is a very fun fight to learn and is very satisfying to learn because it's just one of those fights where when you get that shit down, you absolutely clap his ass. And honestly, I would do that for my boy Gale because he's been there for so long, his shit dry. He ain't got nothing left in that sack. So we gotta rejuvenate, bro. It's not gay if you're just doing it for the homies. Remember that. Moving on, we go to the final boss of the DLC, the one that I missed, Dark Eater Midir. And Dark Eater Midir is a badass dragon boss, and I love it, but it's not my favorite because it has the 1-2 combo of bullshittery that I hate in like any game, and that is a hard to hit boss that is also tanky as all fuck. Because Midir has like Gale levels of health, which is fine, but it is way harder to hit Midir in his head where you're gonna do reasonable damage instead of like 200 damage on his legs, and that makes the boss a pain in the ass. And I don't really want to make this seem like, oh, if I use this it would be fine, but I was using the Great Club, I think, and it just has horizontal swipes as attacks, so it was kind of a bitch to hit him in the head because he would lift his head up and I'd miss, and the swings just don't really do that well against that. So I switched to the Great Sword, and immediately I start seeing like, what the fuck, I'm hitting him for like 1500 damage every time because the Great Sword also does a nice 3-hit combo that does a fuck ton, while the club only really ever does 2 hits fast enough. And so I went from doing like 1500 consistently when I was only doing like 900 sometimes, not a lot, with the goddamn club. And that fucking sucks. It ended up taking 14 attempts, but 1 attempt with the Great Sword. So that was just like, oh, okay, kind of pissed me off, but still a great fight because it is a good dragon and we like dragons. Favorite boss from DS2? Sin, the Slumbering Dragon. It's just dope as fuck. Midir doesn't really have that. He has a better arena and he's definitely better designed, but you know, you kind of have to think back to DS2's age and its jank. Just doesn't hold up compared to the design and just better elements of DS3 as a whole. And so I love Midir, but I'm gonna have to make Gale my favorite. But there's no hate to Bro. I mean, maybe if I was into fucking dragon porn, I would love Bro, but I'm not a goddamn weirdo, alright? I think if you're into dragons, you're probably technically a furry. I don't know how that works, and honestly, I don't really want to because I believe all furries should die. Hard stance, I know, but I just have no sympathy for animals to begin with, so I don't know why I would have sympathy for people who pretend to be animals. Like, motherfucker, I love chicken, I love beef, I love to eat them. Why do I want you to dress up as one, you goddamn weirdo? But, you know, who fucking cares anyway? I'm just bullshitting. Enjoy what you want, but I will call you a goddamn weirdo, make fun of you. Suck it! Damn, this is... this is it. This is the final boss of not just this video, not just the series, not just Dark Souls 3, the entire trilogy. The Soul of Cinder completes the game. Then there's, you know, nothing really after that, because you could technically do the DLC after that, but I didn't, and this is part of the main game. DLC came out after too, so technically this was all you got. And it's not really a great boss by any means. It's, you know, not really a cinematic thing. There's no real good cutscenes or anything. The second cutscene's alright, but it's not groundbreaking. It doesn't hit you as hard as Gale, and it just kind of falls into the lull of Dark Souls in-game bosses. You find like Gwyn at the end of Dark Souls 1, and he's, you know, run down old, and he's easy. There's nothing to it. You get to Nassandra. She's just an easy boss of DS2. Even Alita doesn't really make a challenge, and so that's just kind of how it goes, and it doesn't really stop with Dark Souls 3. The Soul of Cinder is washed. He's done. He's expired. There's nothing to it. It's a little cool how he pulls off some of the old powers of those who have linked the flame. Like, he has those electric bolts, he has some magic attacks, he uses different swords, and I really like that kind of detail, because the flame is using anything it can through the Soul of Cinder to beat us, to test us, to make sure that, I guess, you know, it's not leaving anything on the field, because it's gonna be over after this. And you can see that by when you beat the Soul of Cinder and you touch the flame to link it, there's not like a big explosion like think DS1. It's just nothing. The fire just coats your body ever so slowly. It doesn't come after you, it doesn't take you over, it just slowly seeps around you as if it needs you more than you need it. It's pretty sad, but it just makes sense. Eventually things come to an end. No game goes on forever. Everything has to stop. Time continues to march, but we and everything around us has a time limit. And unfortunately, Dark Souls has reached it. There's no Dark Souls 4, and it's been like, what, 8 years? I don't know if there ever will be, but one can hope, I guess. There's more Souls-likes out there. We can do Sekiro, we can do Elden Ring. There's also some, you know, ones like the Fallen Kingdom of the Fallen or some shit, a Mortar Shell. There's ones like that, but they're just never gonna really hit this hard. This is a like S-tier version of Souls-like games, and everything else is somewhere on like B tier. It's hard to really encapsulate what FromSoftware did, creating their own genre, and so it's gonna hurt. I think I'm gonna come back to these games. I've been thinking of doing challenge videos. I already have one for DS1 planned out, so look forward for that. Could be funny. But yeah, next game is gonna be Elden Ring. It's gonna be a blast. I'm already like 20 hours in or so, and I'm just trying to stomp as many bosses as I can. And that series is gonna go on for quite a while, because there's already so many bosses, and then you throw in the DLC and it's like, fuck, we could have even more. Hopefully they're all unique, and it should be dope as shit. But that's it for Dark Souls. It's been my first time playing each of them. Started in January and finished in June, so a 6-month journey to beat all 3, and it's just been amazing. I appreciate every single one of you that's kind of watched any of the videos. If you're watching now, even doper. And yeah, just thanks for sticking around and supporting. I can't wait to get back on them for challenge videos and shit, but to Elden Ring we go, and I will see you all next time. Peace out.